Now do it.
We'll call the meeting to order, and it's 3/15/2023, and it's 6 o'clock. The first case we're going to take on is Mr. Tosa. He made a complaint to the regional DEP that someone made a path across his property and was wondering if it was a wetlands violation. And so that's part of what we have to figure out. And if there's any way we can help him with the mess. He's also spoken to a lot of other departments in town, I guess. Okay. So let's put up the map. It's 88 Scantic Road. Most of the property is natural heritage. Long, skinny property.
Down.
Okay, so could you, maybe you could just walk up there and just show us where it comes onto your property and where it goes off?
We don't have a pointer, unfortunately. So.
Yeah. So this is the map from the state GIS service. And so our property is this strip here, 88. You can already see that there are some lands that have been designated as wetlands here.
Yes.
There's a swampy texture there. If you go to the next image, you'll see the aerial photo from 2021. And so you can see that there is actual swampland here. There's woods that's in between my house, which is located where the pointer is, and where the path was made. And so it wasn't something that I had eyes on when it was being made. And so it was constructed sometime at the end of last year to January this year. So end of 2022 to January 2023. And you go to the next slide, it zooms in on the section that's relevant. So this is 52 Scantic, where Paul Garwacky and his wife Linda live. And you can see that their driveway sort of has a path that leads out. And I think that this existed before we purchased the property, but there wasn't any work being done as far as I could tell. And I didn't know what had been done when, because I had bought the property in 2021. And so, but there wasn't a path that's been made. And so if you go to the next slide, this red line is approximately, as best as I could make it, where some sort of trail has been cut out. So wood trees have been cut down to make space for it. They're
Trees
clear,
on your property?
yes. They're clear tire tracks, and so some sort of wheeled vehicle that he's used. I think when we talked to Paul, he said he was using this tractor of some sort. I haven't seen it myself. And it cuts a narrow path through here behind this other person's property. And then it cuts a corner. And then this area over here behind the cemetery is also Paul's property. So he sort of justified it as he needs some sort of easement that allows him to access his second property that's not physically connected to his land.
But he didn't ask you for an easement,
No.
and he doesn't have an official easement.
No.
I couldn't find anything on the maps that indicated an easement anywhere.
No. One thing that he did mention, if you go back up to the zoomed out map, is that
This one?
is that his driveway actually cuts through 54 Scantic Road's property. And he claimed that he had gotten an easement so that he could do that, even though his property touches Scantic Road over here.
Yeah, it
His
doesn't show
driveway-
on even on the state mass mapper, it doesn't show as a right of way.
So I don't
That's
know
interesting.
what kind of agreement he has there. That was the first thing that he said when I confronted him. As soon as I found out, I was like, hey, like, what's going on here? You at the very least, you could have asked. There was there was an instance last year where he claimed that there was a dead tree that he needed to cut down that was on our property, and it was threatening one of his buildings, and so he asked us if he could cut it down, and I was like, yeah, sure, that's okay. Okay, thanks for asking. And so I assumed that he would ask for any permission if he needed to access our land. He did not, and he basically dumped a lot of stuff. I have pictures on the later slides as well. I guess he's been dumping for many years now, and his excuse is that the person who owned 88 more than 2 years ago, so Henry Freiberg went by Hank. He owned this property and he has since passed away, and his estate sold it to the Sheldons, who we bought it from. But Paul claims that he had a verbal agreement with Hank that he was allowed to dump trees and trash and create this trail. And so I mean,
Yeah,
at the very least, we would have expected him to ask for some sort. The only reason why we found out is my wife was walking her dog back here, and his wife, Linda, was like, oh, Paul's been working on this trail. And I was like, that's our land.
okay,
So that was the first that I heard about it. I asked him immediately to stop working on anything. He was reluctant to, he apologized, but one thing that was clear is that he also has a fence back here. And so he knows where his property begins and ends.
yeah,
And he knows that this isn't his land, but he sort of feels like he can do whatever he wants because it's not his land. On the one level, right, this is just a bad neighbor. And so in the case of a bad neighbor, right, I can reach out to the police, I can start a civil suit.
yeah,
What's worse is that the trail that he's cut out here is pretty close to these protected wetlands. And we actually received a letter from the state saying that we were not allowed to modify any of our land near or on the protected wetlands. And so this gets me really nervous
yeah.
when he's so close.
Well, in fact, I think there's also hydrology that comes out. It goes across that triangle property
Mhm.
and comes across your property.
Yeah.
You can't see it on a lot of the maps, but you can kind of see where it cuts through on that property.
This land.
Yeah, it's toward the left there of the property where there's kind of a cleared area. That's got serious hydrology under it, so there's also probably wetlands there.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's close enough to that to be of
I
concern,
don't think so.
although it's something you should know about.
Right, well, we
Um,
definitely.
But,
All kinds of
so I don't think
salamanders.
it's a violation where it actually stands of the wetlands themselves. It looked to me like, now you have natural heritage on most of your land.
Okay.
Here I can show you on
Sure.
this one,
The-
where,
There is a tiny flowing brook up closer to the house.
okay, so
Yeah.
that's this one. See this one here?
And I don't know if
It
it's
goes-
intermittent or not, but it
Yeah.
was flowing when we were
Goes
there.
here. And it shows as, serious hydrology on the mass mapper.
Mhm.
Okay, and all of this, hashed part here is natural heritage, priority habitat
Okay,
and estimated habitat.
Yeah.
It's two things, interleaved. And so anything that happens inside this space, with a very few exceptions, you have to get permission from natural heritage to do it, and then they give you extra conditions. So it's definitely a violation of that. Natural heritage doesn't allow you to make any trails. They don't even have exceptions that the Wetland Protection Act has for trail building. So, that's an issue.
Yeah.
And so I think, but as far as if he hasn't gone into the wetlands and you haven't gone into the wetlands,
Well, you
There's,
got awful close.
there's 100-foot buffer around that. So,
Well, he's less than 100 foot.
so the,
He was what, 30 or 40 feet or something? Yeah,
yeah,
it was under
so the
50.
wetlands are,
If you flip,
they show
can you flip to
here,
the one that where he showed another
Yeah.
one, go up another one.
Yeah.
That one there,
that one.
that,
I think we measured this as 35.
35, 40 feet,
Yeah,
something like
and
that.
see, the buffer for the wetlands is 100 feet. And if you get permission, sometimes you can do things within 50 feet, but you're definitely in there.
Right.
So that's an issue as well, especially with these something. A
Yeah.
trail, a lot of times they'll kind of say, meh, but when you're putting stuff there or you're digging up
Right.
anything there, that's a big
Well, that's,
issue.
yeah, and that's on the next few pictures.
It's more like a cart trail.
He's been like dumping stuff,
It's wide, yeah, it's not any 30
but if
meters.
you look at the next picture. So this is like the worst part of it.
Yeah.
And I even texted him, I was like, hey, what's the deal with these bricks? And he's like, yes, I did put these down. I'm like.
Yeah,
And you can
Now,
see the
see,
tracks, and some of the pictures I
it-
took had the tracks in.
DEP would definitely cite you for that and they would
Right.
fine you by the day.
Yeah.
So, it's a good thing that you brought it to their attention, that
Yeah.
you don't want it there. I think that the best thing we can do is explain the violations. And since you're registered as trying to deal with it now, we don't have to actually do anything. We just say this is a violation, will you deal with it?
Mhm.
And you've already told us you're dealing with it. And likewise, you need to send a letter to the natural heritage people.
Okay.
And say to them, it's in natural heritage property. I know it's not supposed to be there, and my lawyer and I are working on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that they're kind of notified.
Baby thing, so.
Yeah,
Sidetracked.
yeah,
But
it gets tough. Um,
that was the other thing I was sort of waiting on, is to hear from you guys and see. like,
yeah. So
yeah.
I can write you a letter that
Okay.
describes exactly what the violations are
Great.
and what the issues are. And then you can use that letter. You can respond to us, as you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working with the lawyer. And then you can, send that along to Natural Heritage and say, just to notify you, because I'm dealing with it. We can't unfortunately, do much against the people that did it.
Right.
So that has to be something either that the select board deals with, that they say, look, you're violating somebody else's property, or that is a civil matter. But we can certainly delineate the violation so that it's very clear, what part's not okay.
Great.
Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
And the other land that he's going over,
You have
Yeah.
a neighbor?
the other neighbor on the other
That little
side,
triangle piece.
that's just a small. Isn't he just like cutting over a corner of that
It seems like
property?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so I tried to get in touch with her. He's not there anymore,
Okay,
and, I couldn't.
it's fine. Okay. I'll give you this map so you'll have it.
sure. You guys need copies of these sides on paper.
That would be actually really good, I think. It would help me to have, you know, if Mark asks for anything. We have a circuit rider that's our DEP contact directly from here. And he may ask questions about it. It'd be good if
Okay.
we can send him that material.
Who have you
Um,
given this presentation to?
I just made that 2 days ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
showed
know,
it to you guys already.
yeah, the smartest thing would be just to download that. Can we just download
Yep.
it to this computer and then you can send it to me? Or if it's too much, I could bring it to you and put it on my keys.
I just made it in between diaper changes and feeding.
Yeah, then that, you
I
can
was
get
like, I
your
gotta get this
paperwork.
together.
that
hey,
way.
what's that? Haven't done that in 50-some years.
So what's the final?
Well, are there any other suggestions about things we should or could do?
The option to save it.
So you're gonna notify, Mike?
I will write a letter. But I'm gonna write it to Mr. Tosa.
Okay.
And then, we can CC it to, Mark.
I said Mike. I
Our-
meant Mark, I'm sorry.
He's our circuit writer.
Yep. That way
And,
they're aware.
and then is it better for him to send it to Natural Heritage or us?
Well, the violation's on his property, so it might be better for
Yeah.
Mr. Tosa to send it to Natural
Yeah,
Heritage.
so you can forward the letter with a little cover letter that says about the fact that you have a lawyer
And
um,
then they'll know for sure then that you're not doing it.
and you're working on it.
Yeah.
And that way you won't get cited or something.
I'm gonna send it to your desktop now.
I
Uh,
Or to your
yeah,
document.
almost all the
Where do you
power we
want it?
have.
Well, put it in documents.
The,
Okay.
Mapping and everything that Mr. Tosa had. just now that we saw.
That's what she's trying to.
Document.
If she
Oh,
can
no, she's
download,
downloaded
if she
now.
can download it onto the computer, then
Oh,
you
she
can
already
email,
has.
Place, file, and destination.
I'll bring it.
What?
I think that,
Already has a,
so I guess it already uploaded it.
oh,
here.
maybe. Well, go over here.
You can just save the PowerPoint to the
Look under
desktop.
documents.
Yeah,
Save it to
that's, yeah,
desktop?
that's,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I was
But
gonna
save
do.
the PowerPoint, not the Microsoft Edge PDF unless you.
If it fits in.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't have
Save
it.
as PowerPoint.
Okay,
That should
I'll,
be, if not, yeah, because
I'll
the
put it
other
right
one
on
doesn't
this.
All right.
look, you don't, yeah, but if you create a shortcut to that,
Oh,
you can't,
Oh.
because you have to download it actually, because
Okay.
if you create a shortcut, you won't be able to access.
Yeah,
it
you won't be
once
able, yeah.
The
Go to
SanDisk
send
is
to-
removed.
you know,
Send to,
send to
okay,
documents.
You
he's
can
got
do
my
user
email.
copy.
I said,
Copy.
I said documents,
Okay.
but there's something already there with that
Okay.
name.
and then
Then
go,
minimize this,
okay,
and then just click
So
here,
he can send it.
anywhere on the desktop. You can click,
okay.
like, yeah, minimize this. so
I
that-
guess you should send it to Melanie, huh?
I have her email on
That'll
my
bring
desk.
me back
Oh,
to
Yeah,
the
and then just
desktop.
right there,
I
you
must
can
have it
save it
here.
there,
You
just do
sure?
paste
Let
there,
me get
There
it.
we go.
and then you can,
Melanie.
There it
please,
is.
there you go. And
Yeah.
then you can just open the,
Mhm.
let me get it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know I have it on the back of, on the back of one of these. As I just put in. Oh, wrong. This is your folder for me. Looking in the wrong folder. This is it.
One thing I didn't include is that I put up the trail cam about a week after, so I ordered one online and got it up, and I haven't seen him come onto the path, at least from the direction that's on the back of his house, so, I mean, in theory, I guess we could go around to the other side, but, I mean, he seems to listen to us telling him to stop. But for you guys, there's been all kinds of animals that I've seen pop up. It's a raccoon, the coyote, deer, and possum.
Any
Definitely.
bobcats?
There's one out in the snow.
Yeah.
There's
They got
one
those
where?
Stubby tails.
Where? Where's the Bobcat?
Bobcat was right,
No, I don't
came
have
in front of the
the
camera.
email.
Oh, right in
Just
front of
have
your
a
camera.
yeah.
Oh,
Phone
okay.
number in it.
They are beautiful.
I'll get it.
There's a couple different coyotes, because there's a couple different
Yeah.
coyotes that I've seen. So,
You have an email?
Different color.
yeah,
I don't want
hear
him to be
them too,
sending
so
stuff
we
that
know
gets
they're out there.
lost.
yeah, it's cool to see.
Are you somehow transmitting it to your home computer or you have to go out
Yeah,
and
so
read
I have
the?
it got a cell cam, so it sends pictures
It's
every 6
IE,
hours.
right?
Oh,
So
wow.
If there's anything that takes pictures.
Is it
of
Melanie
it,
Dutch's?
I had a trail cam for the longest time, but it's when I had to go out and take the memory card out every time and put a new one in.
It might be
I have a separate one,
Oh.
a different part.
at mass.gov, like.
I check that once a week.
Yeah, it's one of those. Master
Well, like,
Isn't
I
there
don't
an
know
actual
if
heritage
Paul's gonna go out.
thing?
Snatch or just wear the camera, so
Well,
every 6 hours, we get security.
That's a lot of running back and forth.
But it
Okay,
makes it easier so that I get the pictures.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, so.
which was maybe-
yeah. I mean, but it's
And why?
understandable. You guys don't have-
I have it. At mass.gov.
Okay. Okay, so if you email the letters and stuff to her, and then make sure you add your own little cover letter.
Okay,
Um. And,
and I'll also email you. the
and
file.
if you can fit, a couple of maps on there.
Yep.
That will really help her. I'm gonna stick this in your folder, so we'll have it. Like if somebody else in town asks us, we'll be able to show
Mhm.
them.
So you want that in this folder?
Now, I'm gonna put it here, what, because I have to write the letter,
Okay,
and then,
yes, I do have a folder now.
Anybody ever come out? No?
Carolyn,
okay. There's not
Oh,
really vote yet,
yeah.
I don't-
Spago?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, she comes down often.
It's those
Hi,
things.
Carolyn. She comes on a lot.
Yeah, this,
No,
you should have it in your. It's right now.
oh, Okay, so, if Natural Heritage sends something back, make sure you forward it here, so we'll just try to keep up with what's going on.
Great. What's the best contact letter?
The office,
The office.
yeah, conservation at hamdenma.gov.
Okay.
I say that's her, but it's actually her mom, and I don't know which one is actually on the school.
At hamdenma, all one word, .gov.
If you go on the town website, there's also a phone number so that you can always call Bonnie. She's here Monday through Thursday, like
9 to 12.
9 to 12. And
And
if
I
you
have
have,
your email, it's on my text now.
yeah, so if anybody else in town, any other committees or anything have questions, you can have them talk to Bonnie, or you can have them, talk to me.
And I'm gonna send you. Files right now.
Oh, that'd be great.
So it's probably Jean. Carol is the mom, if I remember right. It's Jean is her daughter.
Sorry you have to deal with this in the middle of a baby in a new house.
I know.
It's too much.
Oh, did you have the baby?
What?
Did you have the baby?
Yes.
Oh, what is it?
He
What-
came.
Oh, yeah, it's a he. That's a he.
Oh,
And
wow.
so he's 3 weeks old now.
Okay.
Kicking everywhere, pooping everywhere.
Yep. Is that,
He's strong and healthy, so.
and you're not sleeping anyway.
It just dawned on me, remember now when we were there, your wife was very much along and
Yeah. So we've been busy, and that's why. we
Yeah.
haven't been able to-
she was very game when walking out with us. and-
See your first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing is, we have an extension for, Mr.
So
Webster.
You don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting?
No, you
Thank
can,
you so
you can
much.
go. Thank you for coming
Yeah,
in.
and I'll get back in touch with you guys as soon as I get more information.
Yeah, just keep us in the loop.
Thank you
Um,
very much.
An extension to get him to April 15th
For
for, 63 Mountain Road, Mr. Steve Webster.
Webster, yeah. Stephen.
Any objections and,
No,
okay, all those in favor?
all right.
All those opposed? Okay,
Moving for the 15th?
the 15th of April. Yeah, we're trying really hard, especially with John gone, to keep it on the main meeting. Which is, enhances at least a little bit the chance that we'll have the forum.
Set up a time to go look at that before that.
Yes, you could probably do that right now, set up a time for a site inspection in
Whenever.
a day. Because like I mentioned in the email I sent out, now that the time has changed,
Right, it's,
and those two guys could probably make 5:30.
sure, Yeah.
And that way you wouldn't have to, take up of weekends.
yeah, whenever.
This is for Mountain Road?
Yeah,
No, yeah,
it's right off his property. I mean, you're not hiking anywhere.
Right. It's his
Yeah.
backyard, right?
Yeah,
if I can drive down this driveway, I can even go.
yeah. Oh, they're living there, so I'm sure that the driveways, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
all right, yeah, set it up, whatever.
Well, why don't we decide right now? On a
Well-
day, and
It's up to him. It's got to be there.
he appears to work from home, 'cause he already told me he was just to set it up and he'll be there.
hmm.
So.
Except
you three-
mornings are harder
I
for
don't
me
care.
because I have my therapy and doctor's appointments and stuff. The afternoons are good.
Yeah, because we're talking like 5:30,
Yeah.
because it's light till 7. I mean, because you're not hiking anywhere,
Yeah.
and maybe those
Right,
two will make it.
yeah, sure.
Okay, that means just about anything. April 19th. Okay,
19, that's after the meeting.
Well, April 15th is a Sunday.
When did we move?
So if we moved it to the 15th.
What's the?
It's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was a,
What does it say
Eight.
on
Oh, the 19th is our meeting.
there? It says
oh,
19th.
19, sorry,
19th.
sorry.
Yeah, that's what she's.
Good thing you're back. I have it 19th on here.
Okay,
Okay, so,
so is there a day of the week that's better for you?
Well, it's gonna depend on what's going on, when I've got doctor's appointments and so,
oh, we're
yeah,
talking 5:30 at night.
yeah, well, that's true, yeah.
Well, you three have to decide on. I mean, Cindy and I might go just to look at that beautiful house.
Whatever you want. I'm flexible. like that.
Well, then let's just find out what's a good day for him.
He said any day. I already
Oh,
talked to
okay.
him.
Ted has the most obligations.
Yeah, and the closer you,
Yeah.
the closer to,
Well, see, next week is bad for me.
well, no.
That's
I
my
think-
third,
think
third
first
week, I got a bunch of stuff
better
going.
Right.
Going into April, because you're gonna get better weather.
Right.
Closer to your meeting date,
Then maybe-
Yeah, so let's,
Sometime
week
the week
after
before.
next then.
like Monday or Tuesday, you're gonna. go.
Yeah, how about the 28th? Pick the Tuesday the 28th.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think I have anything else
Of March?
of April. Oh,
No,
March.
28th of March,
Tuesday.
week and a half from now.
All
Or you
right,
wanna
that-
go into April?
I
Okay,
think that's good.
all right, I'll tell him March 28th.
Yep.
At 5:30,
Yeah. And, you know, you can find a second date in case it's pouring
Yeah,
rain or
give them a rain
something.
date. the
Yeah.
Following week or something.
right?
All right, that'll be good.
Okay.
And
I'll
the
let him
issues
know.
are pretty straightforward, you know, exactly how far up the driveways are gonna be, so how far is it gonna stick into that property. Otherwise, not a big deal,
No. 60.
but I do want to be clear with them about the natural heritage and stuff.
All right, I'll let, just, you know. 5:30,
If it's a Tuesday, done. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
What
you
day
never
is it?
know.
That's fine.
So, when you call him to make the date, then can you also say he's gonna need to file an ESA form?
yes.
Cause
I'm
it
gonna call
takes
him
a
tomorrow.
while, it takes like a month to get through them.
Do you have the address on that?
The ESA
Lisa?
form?
Huh.
No, he can just go online, it's all on the phone.
Oh, all right.
Do we have a MISA form on the Concom site?
What?
Do we have a MISA form on the Concom site?
No.
So he'll have to go to Natural Heritage.
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
that. Okay. All right, did everybody sign?
I have 3 signatures.
Everybody that's here.
Good, okay. The next thing is, trees in the river near, 17 Walnut. 17 Walnut is a very flat property right on the other side of the river. And she was very concerned that trees were building up in the river. The last time we tried to deal with trees building up in the river, DEP told us they make good habitat, so unless they're actually causing flooding, you should leave them alone.
What's the address?
17 Walnut.
Tim Hanley handled
Here.
it last time.
Actually, almost behind 30 Bonds old property.
Yeah,
Oh, this is the one we did before.
Yes.
it's right at the bend, so that I think that's, you know, that's why they stopped there.
So it's come up again?
Yeah. But in fact, it might be worth it to go visit her and explain to her that it's good habitat.
Right.
It helps the turtles and all the other
See if
creatures.
It's actually
Um,
flooding there.
yeah,
When Tim was taking charge of that, the people did hire a, person to, remove the brush and the trees, and they were gonna do it in a way that there wouldn't be any equipment or anything like that, and the price, I have it in the office, it was like $1,100 maybe, and the couple, they didn't wanna pay that.
yeah.
So
Well,
is
then
it the same
eventually
family?
those went down.
Is it the same family?
Yeah,
So they want
Yeah,
the town to
and
pay
so you
for it,
can
not
see there,
us.
the blue is like 1% floodplain zone.
Mm-hmm.
And the orange is 0.02% floodplain zone, so it would have to flood a lot to go past that, it's not out into them. So I don't see it as an emergency.
No,
You can see this dark blue is the floodplain, the 1% floodplain, and this is the 0.02 floodplain. So it's,
yeah, and that's what the,
yeah,
Right
it's
at
not,
that sharp.
yeah,
edge
this is
right
that
there.
red triangle is where they are.
mhm.
So I don't think they're immediate danger, so,
I brought this up to the selectmen and, then to Kelly, and just to find out who is responsible to remove, trees and brush if they are damming up in the river. And, no one had an answer,
yeah,
even,
nobody ever does. Well, remember back when Mr. Dorn had trees, he had to get out. We said he could do it if he did it with, no, by not putting equipment in the river and by essentially dragging them out. It's a little steeper where she is. It's not quite as, he's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we've
in
been
the
there.
middle of the level. So I don't even, given that Dana didn't think he could easily get them out, I don't want to encourage them to do that unless it becomes a real issue.
Mhm.
And then we can issue, an emergency permit.
Yeah, but it seems like they don't wanna pay for it,
No,
and I
Yeah.
doubt if the town will pay for it, so.
Yeah, so until it's an emergency.
Yeah, we went round and round in circles and nothing ever got resolved the last
Yeah,
time.
it just
but
ends up taking
again,
time, but
I think it'd be a good idea to take a look at it. I don't know if they do anything either.
well, yeah, if you guys are willing to go look at it,
Just-
and just explain about
Right.
habitat and all that, and the bank.
Bonnie, if you look, I'm almost positive I took pictures and there's pictures on our data
I'll look in
somewhere.
their file, I didn't pull their file.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they're
So
sitting on the
just to talk
computer.
to them, let them know we know about it.
But it might be more than what it was when we took pictures
Yeah.
how long ago,
Couple of years.
so.
Oh, it's a few
Tim's
years,
been
at least
gone
3 or 4 at
couple
least,
Yeah.
maybe even 6.
Say more like 5 or 6.
6, yeah.
Really?
I mean, because COVID's been 2.5 years and it
Right.
was way before that, so it had to be at least 3, absolute minimum. And it's probably 5 or 6.
Well, it was before I was on the
This is-
commission, it's been at least.
We have a new
3 years.
GIS now.
So-
Yeah, this is Mass Mapper.
I know, this is much better, because our GIS, even the new one that started today, shows everyone stopping at the river, where this one actually has.
Yeah, you notice it goes right in there.
Yeah.
This is the river actually here.
Right.
Because these different things go over it, but,
Yeah.
yeah, theirs goes right to the middle.
Yeah, because ours does, the new one that we have. on
It's
our
weird, these
computer.
old properties that they go to the center of the river, the rest of town they don't.
Yeah,
But I don't think in town, it doesn't really matter. It's just that nobody wants to deal with it, so.
No.
If it gets to be an emergency situation, I think we can try to get them help to deal with it, but.
And what is it, 70, what's the address?
17 Walnut Road. And I didn't write the name down.
Yeah, I'll pull their files.
Okay, and, the last thing is,
The enhanced security.
the enhanced
Yes.
security system on Allen Street.
And I sent everybody a copy.
Did you all get copies? I have a couple extra copies if anybody wants one. Basically, I wrote them back, just to get some details, and Ted also asked a question. I asked them if they're doing anything with the fencing, they said no. They are putting some extra poles in that are gonna hold the new sensors. And they're basically putting new sensors and new locks, kinds of things. Because electric systems are under more assault now. So they're just covering the vets.
Right.
Yeah, with all
So
the
it's
things
good.
happening in the country with people messing with power systems.
Yeah.
there.
Securing, well, yeah, securing their building or whatever. it is.
Exactly, they're making the fence a little more
Yeah,
solid.
okay.
And Ted asked him if we need to notify, fire in ambulance, and they said, no, it's exactly the same for those people to enter as it was before.
And it wasn't our question,
Yeah.
our problem. I said, as an
But just-
aside, should
Just
we?
to be kind of covering the bases.
Yeah.
So just so you all know. Just staying within the footprint.
I did put a copy in everybody's, folder on, the little blip I wrote up for the town, report, the meeting, for the town meeting, that booklet that they send out early.
Ah,
And I just gave everybody a copy just so that you
it's
know.
good, so when they see work, they don't get all
Mm.
this stuff. So I think it's good for people to be in the know. So we'll have the site visit for 63, and that's, Mountain Road, and that's the one that's the only one currently that's scheduled for next month.
Yeah, this month, March 28th.
We have 2 or 3, people who are kind of, we're expecting NOIs from them at any moment, but they haven't come in, so.
Yeah, I got it. I told Jen to send me too. For the wet area on South Road. Parking area for the trail in the Chuck Mountain.
Oh, yeah,
There's a big wet area in there. We want to put some planks in there. I said, she's
oh, just a
worried about-
walkway,
Yeah. she's
right,
worried
yeah.
About turtles and stuff. So I said, take out an
Yeah.
NOI and send it to us. We'll go from there,
Yeah.
whatever.
If it's essentially similar to the ones we had before, we
Yes.
already cleared those through natural heritage, so Concom can just look at it. and-
Is this in the field or up in the mountain?
No, I'm in the field.
In the
field.
field.
Along the edge.
And
On
all
Kathy's
of
trail
the
then?
field, except the
Yeah.
very front piece where the driveway comes in is natural heritage. Which I have a really hard time
Oh, yeah.
explaining to Sharon. She keeps wanting to do more stumps and do more stuff. And
yeah.
I understand why, because the neighbors get all upset about it, but, at least I convinced her to keep it off season so that it'll be safer for the
There's
turtles.
also the Boy Scout and the emails that were going around. He met us Saturday. It's more, the bog bridges, if you will, on Westbrook Trail, and he was there. He was on it, and they're gonna do another section
The
on
one,
that same
the one
trail.
starting in Eagle?
Yeah,
Out towards the road,
and
right?
he's gonna do one on the Westbrook Trail, but on the far side of the park. There's a big bog and very muddy section there. So I suggested do the same thing, paperwork here.
Yeah,
And
it's
they
good to have
skipped
it
them.
documented so that,
Yeah. So they said they were gonna try to come
because
tonight.
the Fish and Wildlife people almost always say, I sent the last one to them, they said, no, it's fine,
Yeah.
but when we didn't, they were upset, so
But they thought it was a good idea just to go through the process anyway.
it is good.
What's his last name? I know the father's John, Jon.
His name is Jack. I don't remember what.
Father
Cooper, maybe?
Cooper, yeah, the father rebuilt a stone wall for us.
Oh,
The other thing is the minutes from March 1st.
That's the first time, huh?
Nothing controversial. Oh, and, we had a meeting this morning with, Bob Markle in the storage units. One of them is in Superior Court and the other one is in Land Court. The storage unit.
the Superior Court one, is that the one?
That's the
other
one
judge
on
said-
Summers.
No, the first judge.
Yeah, found for the town, but it's in,
Yeah.
the heck you call it? They're contesting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're.
What do you call it? I can't think of the right word.
Appeal?
Appeal, thank you.
Yeah,
I think that, for the first one here on the minutes,
Mhm.
I think we should, document that we did consider the shed. Because Mark specifically wrote to me about it and asked us to look at it, so,
I didn't put the
would-
shed in
no. So we need to say, you guys decided not to insist it being.
there. Yeah, 'cause I know I told you that. Okay, mm,
Yeah, I looked at all the maps and decided that it went there between 2008 and 2011. I
that
think
was,
Bonnie narrowed it down to more likely 2009. It's been there a while, but it is off the edge of the approved area.
Yeah.
So I wasn't here when that discussion was had, so, but I think we just should say that we decided not to follow it up.
all right, well, because it wasn't actually in the, request, I would probably have to say like it was noticed in the request if there was a small shed at the
Mhm.
edge of the wetlands and the commission, decided not to request that that
Take any
shed be
action on
moved. Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay? So that way he knows we looked at it.
Okay, I can do that.
All right, anything else?
You gotta vote on it.
Adding motion to approve the minutes
As
as
amended.
amended.
Somebody gonna second it?
Second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn. At that time.
Didn't we do the other?
February? Oh. Well, maybe you did it last time, when
Yeah,
I wasn't here.
yes.
Oh, okay, that's what that's from, okay.
Okay, so,
All right, I'll second that.
All,
all those in favor?
aye, okay.
The meeting is
She's
adjourned.
waiting here to push the buttons and
Yeah.